Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you want in the body and mind you want. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of freedom with food and your body, you're in the right place. Just a reminder that this podcast represents my own opinions. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult your doctor or healthcare professional for any individual medical questions you may have. Hello, friends, and welcome. I am glad you're here. This episode is really a practical strategy on things I initially teach clients who are dealing with any sort of anxiety or, anxious symptoms, having difficulty sleeping, tend to have ruminating thoughts, things like that. So, if you've ever suffered with anxiety, excessive worry, like I said, maybe you have those looping thoughts or intrusive thoughts. And if you're like me, when something happens that sets your brain and body into panic mode, you may feel lots of physical symptoms in your body as well. You may feel your stomach immediately drop, some nausea maybe, your heart starts racing, tightness in your chest and throat. These sort of symptoms of worry, anxiety plague so many of us. And it is no wonder that so many of us turn to food or alcohol to try to calm these symptoms, to make them go away. But to make them go away temporarily, as we all know, it does not last. It is not a permanent solution. But of course, the problem with trying to manage worry or anxiety in this way with food and with alcohol maybe it doesn't work long term. So the symptoms and the struggle always return. And then on top of that, your weight loss slows or you slowly start putting on more weight. So really having sort of a tool in your toolbox, if you will, that you have practiced and that can really help turn that stress state around when you start worrying, when you start to feel maybe that panic coming on. This is a way to change the whole physiology of what's going on in your body in order to calm down that stress response. And the way this correlates with trying to lose weight is that, or even maintain weight or just increase your health markers, is that when we are overly stressed, when we are feeling stressed too often for too long, our body is releasing all different kinds of things, different neurotransmitters, but especially, what we're talking about here in regards to weight is hormones. And so it's releasing things like cortisol, insulin, all this kind of stuff. And that really starts this cascade of an inability to burn fat. So all of a sudden your body is not going to be able to burn fat. And not only that, but it's going to store fat quicker. Is definitely not going to allow you to lose weight if you are trying to lose weight. So this is just one, things go, when we talk about stress management, stress relief, definitely there are, what would I say, more deeper ways that you want to hit this. If you're a chronic worrier, deal with heightened anxiety, you want to go get some professional help to really hit the deeper levels, to work with the thoughts, to really get this more foundational approach to changing our ways of thinking, to changing our chronic habits of thinking and feeling in order to get better at managing stress. But with that said, there are some really powerful ways that you can implement and practice throughout the day, on the daily, as well as when you start to feel your sensations of stress coming on. There are ways that you can start to implement in the moment that will help shut down some of that hormonal cascade, some of the neurotransmitter response, kind of turn off that amygdala in the moment. And so that's what I wanted to do with this episode. I wanted to share a quick way to reduce stress and the physiological symptoms and sensations of stress that really you can do anywhere, anytime, in order to ground yourself, find a sense of calm, if even it's for a moment, get your heart rate to come down. Yes, you can actually get your heart rate to come down with this. Get you into a place where you can move forward without using food or drink to soothe yourself. Now, there's many ways, like I said, to reduce symptoms of anxiety and worry and stress. And ultimately, as I was mentioning, one would want to do the thought work needed if you happen to be one of those chronic worriers or deal with chronic anxiety. Things like working with a professional to learn how to change your thinking patterns around situations that trigger anxiety or worry, because this is really something that works. But for now, we are just going to focus on one technique you can start to use today that can reduce those awful sensations of anxiety. I hope you are finding something useful from these episodes and this podcast. And if so, please share it with someone else in your life you feel it could benefit. This podcast is also now monetized. So if you really feel you are getting a lot from it and want to help keep it going, please go to the episode show notes. You can just scroll down from wherever you're listening. You'll see a description of the episode, and then you will see it says support this podcast. And then there's a link you can click on. You can click on that link, and that's where you can support the podcast. Even the smallest donation, like 99 cents, helps to keep me producing the podcast. And to those of you who have donated, I really, really appreciate the support. I really do appreciate all of you listening and sharing the space with me. Again, just very thankful for all of you. Okay, so this technique can do something like, say if your stress level is at a 10, this technique can maybe take it down to a 2. And this may be different for each person, so maybe it's going to help you get 2 or 3 or 4. But either way, I do know the more you practice and use this technique, the better it works. So if you're kind of into this and you want to try this, I really would recommend practicing this daily, once or twice a day, even if you're not feeling stress. And then if you notice symptoms of stress, sensations of stress starting to build up in your body or come on in your body, then this is a technique you could use in those moments as well. So this is a breathing technique, and I use this technique every morning personally when I first wake up, and also before I go to bed. It takes about 1 minute, so it's super fast and quick. Everybody has 1 minute to practice something like this to reduce those sensations and symptoms of stress. We have lots and lots of research that tell us this type of breathing protocol that I'm going to teach you absolutely works to reduce stress. And if you're not so sure about this, just do a Google search on Google Scholar. There are plenty of research studies over there that you can read if you need a little bit more convincing. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is we're gonna do some inhales, some holds, and some exhales, but we're gonna follow a specific pattern, a specific number of inhales, holding our breath and then exhaling. And so you want to, as we do this, breathe in through your nose as you inhale. And as you're inhaling through your nose, you want your lower belly, so not the chest area, the lower belly area to push out when you are inhaling through your nose. And when we exhale, the belly area is going to kind of get pulled in, right? And so one way to, and when I used to work with kids back in the day, and so one way to do this, how I would teach them this is you want to put your hand on your lower belly. And when you inhale, you should feel that hand coming out. The belly blows up like a balloon. And when you're on the exhale part, it's like the balloon is shrinking. It's letting out air, right? So if you put your hand there, you can kind of feel, is my belly moving in and out? Because often what happens is many of us breathe from our chest area. And so you may find as you practice this that actually it's your chest that is moving. And for this, and that's by the way, it's okay to breathe into your chest, especially, well, that's another story. But if you're an athlete, you want to be able to breathe into your belly and your chest. But for our purposes of this breathing protocol to reduce stress, we're really wanting our belly, lower belly, to be moving in and out. So you want to breathe in through your nose as you inhale. You want that lower belly to push out. And when we exhale, the belly area will be pulled in. Now, I want you to really think about not exhaling through your mouth. You will often hear breathing protocols where you're inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. That's all fine and good. But for this one, I want you, as best you can, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Now, if you have a stuffy nose and that kind of thing, I still want you trying to inhale through the nose. You could even do some sinus washes to clear that up when, if it is stuffy. But inhaling through the nose, but then if you need to exhale through the mouth, that's okay. But I just would prefer, because I don't have solid research on this, but we do have some studies showing that the nasal inhale and exhale only can help reduce that stress, the symptoms, the sensations of stress on a physiological level even more. So I really teach my clients, inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. So you're going to try to keep your mouth shut during this breathing protocol. Okay, so we're going to try this together. I want you to think about putting your shoulders back, lengthen your spine. We're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So again, keep your mouth shut. And then we are going to do a protocol of inhaling through the nose for a count of 4. We're going to hold it for 7 seconds. And then we are going to exhale for a count of 8. I'm going to kind of talk through this, so my mouth is going to be open, but I want you to keep your mouth shut. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this together for 4 times. So inhale, belly comes out for a count of 4, 3, 4. Hold for a count of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for a count of 8 as your belly comes in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do it again. Inhale, count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3. Belly out. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, belly in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now pay attention right now to how you feel. The sensations in your body. You will notice a sense of more slowness, a sense of normalized breathing. If your pulse was rapid, you will notice that it slowed down some. You might also notice that while you did this with me, your thoughts were not on any worries or any other place other than focused on your breath and my voice. I mention this part because I want you to recognize that doing a breathing protocol also creates a momentary pause or space between our rapid fire thoughts. And so when we have this space or pause by using our breathing that we create for our brain, we are not triggering negative feelings that we don't want to be feeling. Because remember, our thoughts create our feelings, which carry with them chemical cocktails of sensations in our bodies, which then drive our behaviors. So practicing this technique throughout the day, not just when you're feeling stressed, is actually going to reduce stress overall. I often recommend to my clients to set a reminder on their phone to do this, or a sticky note with a reminder to breathe placed in spots they're going to see it often throughout the day, because you really want to be practicing this daily. I really encourage you to practice this also when you're having an urge or desire to overeat or to binge or to overdrink. It can really help to calm that urge, that awful urgy struggle sensation down a bit, and maybe help you possibly make a different decision in that moment. All right, thank you for listening. I hope you found this useful. This is one of those episodes, how I sort of envisioned it, that you can go back to. You can kind of fast forward to where we are doing the 1-minute breathing protocol and just listen so you can follow along when you need to, until you really get the hang of it yourself. Some of us need somebody else's voice kind of guiding us through a mindfulness practice or a breathing protocol. And so that's what I hope this episode can do for you. So bookmark it, put it in a space where you can find it easily so you can go back to it and do a little practice with your new stress relieving breathing protocol. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you listening, and we will talk soon. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and get in touch with questions on all things I offer, like online courses for overeating, weight loss, goal attainment, and also my coaching and counseling services.